Alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Welcome to another episode of Haqiqatjou, where we discuss religion and politics, the two least controversial subjects. As always, I'm your host, Daniel Haqiqatjou. And today we are going to focus on the person that I've had a very interesting interaction with just a couple of months ago. Ambushed me, UTHMAN bin FAROOQ, who we've been calling Mufti Dubai bin Cholo. And he has also put out videos against me, attacking me, criticizing me for calling for pan-Islamic unity, calling for Muslims to unite against the threat of Zionist occupation, Zionist genocide against the Muslims, backed by the United States. And like the Wahhabis, like all the other Wahhabis, Madkhalis, he has a problem with that. He has a problem with Muslims uniting against this threat. He prefers, and he said this, that Israel is actually the lesser threat, Iran is the greater threat, implying that he wants Israel to be victorious in this conflict with Iran. So it's in the past couple of months I've been posting things to show how disingenuous, how dishonest UTHMAN bin FAROOQ is, showing how he has, major blunders, his claim to be sheikh, his claim to be mufti. And if you ask him directly, hey, why are all your videos calling you Sheikh UTHMAN? And these are channels that you control. He says, no, I don't claim to be a sheikh. I don't claim to be a mufti. Okay, well then why are your channels, your official channels, titling you that, labeling you that? And he plays dumb. And I've shown that he has like a lack in very basic Islamic knowledge. Like he doesn't even really know Surah Al-Fatiha. Like he can't even read it off of a page. And I've showed you clips of that. Anyway, so he's a charlatan. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see that he is so deep with some of these Gulf monarchies like the UAE. And that was exposed. So what happened, if you missed it, this was almost 2 months ago. He put out a video attacking me, saying that I'm basically promoting Shiism. I am peddling Shiism. I'm peddling an Iranian propaganda against Sunnis. And he was attacking me on this basis, saying I'm completely whitewashing Iran. And then I responded to the video. I said that, look, the claims that you're making about Iran are factually false. You don't know the history. You clearly don't know the basics of the geopolitics. And you also are kind of making these claims about Shiism that are objectively false. Why don't we have a discussion? And I invited him to have a discussion, me and him. And I was very nice about it, cordial about it. Didn't put it in terms of, let's have a debate, I challenge you, I'm going to destroy you. I didn't say anything like that. And after a few weeks, he responded through his One Message Foundation saying, yeah, come on, let's have a discussion. And then the rest is history. I went onto his stream. I simultaneously streamed it on my channel because you can't trust these people. They'll just delete the stream, delete all the evidence of what they've been doing after the fact. So I stream it as well, and he ambushes me. He brings on a third party, and we did a live stream showing that this third party is like connected to the IDF and Israeli intelligence. Like we brought all the receipts for that. UTHMAN in that live stream was defending literal IDF agents in a shocking turn, like things that were shocking me during the live stream. And it was a complete ambush, and we don't need to rehash everything that took place. You can watch it. It's on the channel. But since then, I've been putting out more material. I've been looking more deeply into this because I was actually surprised. I was surprised by how extensively Uthman was willing to defend the UAE. And he refused to condemn them, said very positive things about the UAE, very positive things about Dubai. Meanwhile, he is attacking Iran, all of a sudden, out of the blue, attacking Iran, attacking Shiism, something that he doesn't usually focus on. But like he's put his foot on the gas over the past few months. And so I've been looking into like what is actually going on here. Like, is he getting paid? Is he, what's actually causing him to act like this and basically torpedo his career? Like he's pouring gasoline on his career and lighting the match, because the UAE has been so discredited as an ally of Israel, like basically a proxy regime of Netanyahu and the IDF in Israel, that for someone to come out and vocally stand by the UAE and defend it and refuse to condemn the blatantly un-Islamic, blatantly anti-Muslim things that the UAE has done, that is the only reason that you do that is if you have some kind of ulterior motive, you have some kind of business interest, you have some kind of money interest at stake. That's the only explanation that would even get close to explaining how someone could just destroy their reputation by refusing to condemn, by actually defending the UAE at this time, a country that has signed the Abraham Accords, formally is in normalized relations with Israel as it's conducting a genocide. And by the way, the UAE has been participating in this genocide, contributing to the Palestinian genocide, with contributing weapon systems. When Israel was suffering because of the blockade that Yemen had put on the Red Sea, the UAE was actually contributing to Israel to soften the economic impact, and on and on. These kinds of economic and diplomatic ways that the UAE and military ways that the UAE has been contributing to a literal genocide of our Palestinian brothers and sisters. So how could anyone, any Muslim, let alone a sheikh, okay, a self-styled sheikh, Uthman, come out and defend this and refuse to condemn it? So I just want to refresh your memory on the context. Why are we talking about Uthman bin FAROOQ? Because for better or worse, he has this large following. He has this kind of reputation, and I've also contributed to that reputation because I have complimented him in the past. I've been in conferences with him in the past. Okay, and that history is there as well. And I've been bamboozled as well. I've been bamboozled just as much as everyone else, thinking that this is someone who is just interested in dawah. But in reality, he's basically a slave to MBZ. He's basically like the butler for MBZ and these Gulf interests. And that's very dangerous for someone to come and say that they're a sheikh or a mufti and I'm doing dawah, and your dawah is actually influenced by a political program. It's actually influenced by a government with its own interests that don't align with Islam. In fact, they go against Islam. They go against the interests of the Muslims. They go against the Palestinians. They go against the future of the Ummah. That's a problem. That's a big problem. And as I've said, this has been like my mission for years, that you have governments who want to infiltrate Islam. And they infiltrate Islam in many ways, but one of the ways that they've identified as being very efficacious in brainwashing Muslims, changing the way that Muslims understand their religion, reforming the religion, is to target specifically the religious preachers, the imams, the shuyukh. Get them on the payroll. Get them to start pushing a government-approved message that is in favor of reform or in favor of a particular geopolitical goal or interest. And then that, from the mimbar, from the mosque, okay, from the khutbah, it spreads. It spreads throughout the Muslim community, and then mission accomplished. You've been able to socially engineer the Muslim population and get them to adopt your political position, and go undetected. Basically, go undetected that you have a hidden hand that's been operating through these religious preachers, through these religious figures. And when it comes to the Wahhabis, like, it's very clear, like, the interests that they're serving, the geopolitical interests. When it comes to compassionate imams, their political interests with the US government, with the Rand agenda, with the liberalization and secularization of Islam, feminism. Okay, so it's all connected. It's all related. And that's been my message for quite a long time of doing dawah. So now I want to just refresh your memory on this shame that is Uthman bin FAROOQ, Mufti Dubai. And then we'll get into the results of my research. Because as the thumbnail shows, follow the money. When you follow the money, it becomes clear why Uthman is so protective of Dubai and the UAE. Why he's so protective, why he refuses to condemn. It becomes obvious what's actually happening here. And I'm going to paint you this picture. I'm going to connect the dots for you, and you can see and you can judge for yourself. And I'm going to, in the second half of the show, get into another huge scandal, as if this isn't bad enough. Okay, this isn't bad enough. We're going to get into Uthman bin FAROOQ's fabrication of hadith. Okay, fabricating hadith, lying on the Prophet ﷺ in an embarrassing display with the Christians, with Christian apologists. And what happened last week that was so shameful with Uthman is that he was participating in a debate event, and you had Dog Logic there and a bunch of other Christian apologists. And then Mufti Dubai takes this selfie, a fun, cute little selfie with all the Christian apologists, including Dog Logic, okay, smiling, you know, taking that selfie. And it's posted. It's posted not only by Dog Logic, it was also posted by Uthman. It was posted by his channel. And so there was a lot of backlash from that, as we'll discuss. This is someone who claims that we can't ally with Iran because according to Shiism, they insult the Sahaba, and we can never. Would you ally with someone who insults your mother, who insults your father? Would you ever ally with such a person? Okay, and it's interesting because in Islam, yeah, there is a justification. You can ally with people like that, with people who are deviant, they're highly deviated, like the Shia, like the Rafida. You actually can ally with them. And this is the position of someone like Ibn Taymiyyah, for example. Or, in the podcast that Muhammad Hijab did with Adnan Rajid, he explains that you can ally with Christians even. You can ally with Christians, you can ally with Jews, and they do much worse than insult the Sahaba. If that's possible, then by extension, you can ally with Shia. Okay? So, but Uthman bin FAROOQ, like, this is his standard. Oh, we cannot ally. We can ally. We can take selfies, cute selfies with Dog Logic, who insults the Prophet ﷺ, who insults Aisha radiallahu anha. We can do that. We can take selfies and have a good time. But when it comes to the Shia facing genocide by the Zionists with this Greater Israel project, then no. Then we have to, then we suddenly care about insults to the Sahaba and so forth. Anyway, so that was the controversy from last week, but it actually gets a lot worse because this issue of fabricating hadith came to light. And I'm going to talk about that. Uthman bin FAROOQ supposedly has a master's in hadith from Islamic University of Islamabad. Okay. He claims, doubtful that that's actually, he has any kind of degree like that. Doubtful, since he can't even read Surah Al-Fatiha. Okay. But yet he's fabricating hadith. And this is something that the Christian apologists pointed out. And Muslims haven't been aware of this. And when you're aware of it, it's shocking. It's shocking. It's embarrassing. So we're going to talk about that in the second half of the show, inshallah. And yeah, before I move on, don't forget to subscribe to the newsletter. If you haven't already, the link is in the description below. We put out a weekly newsletter that has a recap of everything that has happened on MuslimSkeptic for that week. It's a good one-stop shop for all the information, summaries, and of all our articles, videos. So go and check that out. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to contribute a super chat, feel free. I will be reading the super chats, and I appreciate any kind of super chat as it helps support the show. And yeah, so let's get right into it. Let's refresh our memory on UTHMAN's inability to condemn the UAE. How's the sound, by the way? Before I do that, how's the sound? I want to make sure the sound. Press 1 if the sound is okay. Okay, great. Let's get into the clips.
UAE is all about unity when it comes to unity with Israel, when it comes to unity with Tel Aviv. Yeah, they're pro-unity with Hindus, with Modi. They're very pro-unity. Do you condemn the UAE for that? Do you see that? You don't have to condemn them. Do you see it as a problem even?
Are you done?
Can you answer?
Are you done?
Can you answer the question?
Are you done speaking?
Can you answer the question, though?
I just want to make sure you're done, because when I start speaking,
I
don't want
know,
to.
I want to know if you can.
There you go.
Answer
now
the question.
You're going to start interrupting me. Are you done speaking?
I want to see if you can answer this
Are
question
you
directly.
done speaking?
Do you support Hindu temples? Yes or no?
I do not support Hindu temples.
Do you support the UAE building Hindu temples?
Now, will you allow me to speak, or are you just going to keep interrupting?
Do you condemn UAE for building Hindu temples?
I just look. You asked a question, I answered it. Now you're jumping from it. Now
the UAE is all about.
Okay, so can't condemn the UAE for allying with Israel, with Modi, with Hindutva. He can't condemn that. Okay, so people were really distressed. All the UTHMAN fans who thought that this is a legitimate sheikh, they're distressed. You know, our sheikh is not able to condemn something that so clearly wrong and objectionable. This should be a no-brainer. Why is the cat got his tongue? Like, why can't he make a simple statement like, of course I condemn the UAE for allying with Israel, allying with Hindutva, building these Hindu temples. I'm a Wahhabi. I follow Shaykhul Islam, Ibn Abdul Wahhab. And of course, Tawheed is the most important thing. So the biggest violation of Tawheed would be to build a Muslim building a Hindu temple. Of course I condemn that. Like, that's what his fans would like to hear. That's what his supporters would like to hear. His students, those poor masakin students of his, imagine. They would love to hear that, but he just refuses to give it to them. Why?
Yeah, you condemn the RSF death squad.
No, there you go. There you go. No evidence. No evidence.
Okay. Are you scared to condemn?
Do you condemn RSF death squads? Can't condemn them. RSF death squads that are backed by the UAE, he can't condemn. Okay? And again, this is not because he doesn't have knowledge of geopolitics. He, in that ambush stream and his other videos, he makes 100 claims about Iran and Iran's connections to different U.S. invasions or CIA programs. Like, he has all the facts. Okay? He just can't get fact-checked on them, but he has all the facts. But he has nothing, again, to say about the similar or worse things that these Gulf regimes do.
No evidence.
Are you allowed?
Look,
are you scared to condemn the UAE?
I am not paid by
Is MBZ allowing you to condemn? Is
Nobody controls
MBZ allowing you to condemn?
Look, you're just afraid to now stand up and say that you called him an agent and you have no evidence.
Are you scared of MBZ?
Slander. See, now you can't answer.
Are you scared
Yeah.
of MBZ?
Okay, so-
Zuma's
hold
go
on
ahead.
a second.
I'm not scared
Yeah,
of
Barakallah.
anybody but Allah.
Then condemn them. Condemn the UAE then.
And is he
Look.
gonna stop interrupting? Like, is he just
Condemn
gonna
them.
bark? Like,
He's
are you
just
gonna
gonna keep
bark?
interrupting. Yeah, go
You're
ahead.
just gonna
Condemn.
keep
No, I
barking.
just
You're
want a
gonna
clear
keep barking.
answer from Uthman.
No, you're
I
just
just want
gonna
a
keep
clear
barking.
answer.
No,
I
you're gonna
already
keep barking.
gave you a
Condemn the
clear
UAE.
answer.
No, you didn't condemn
Listen.
them.
Just
I
stop.
So
said,
say that you won't condemn them.
listen,
Hey,
listen.
hey,
Say it
Daniel.
explicitly.
I-
Stop running.
Daniel, I'm gonna make
Oh
it
my
simple
God.
for you.
Stop running, man.
I'm gonna make it simple for you.
Don't be scared.
you
MBZ
said-
can't
So-
do anything.
You get the point. Here was Uthman's appearance on a podcast. Okay. The Ansari podcast. And this was an interesting interview. Halal Zoomer clipped it. And Uthman is being pressed on the UAE by the brother, the host of the podcast. Let's watch this.
Swiss spy firm paid 5.7 million euros by UAE secretly blacklisted 1,000 plus European Muslims, including charity workers, women in headscarves, and a deputy mayor of Marseille. I don't know what that city is.
Who are these
And
individuals?
pressure their banks to close their accounts. The UAE secretly paying Tommy Robinson of the EDL under the table while building the prevent surveillance system used against British Muslims. UAE inspired 7-page
So,
dossier.
Tommy Robinson, where is that from? I mean, I want to understand.
These are independent
No,
investigations
who-
by
by-
Western. Can we pull that up? This
I mean, this is widely reported, like in the Wall Street Journal, widely reported in many mainstream journalistic outlets. Okay. And some of these academic institutes as well are citing this, that the UAE, I mean, this is leaked documents that have come forth that the UAE has been paying lobbyists in the West to attack Muslims. That's something that is known. And the support for Tommy Robinson, literally Tommy Robinson is going to the UAE, okay, is enjoying vacation in the UAE along with all these IDF soldiers. Like, this is something. No, Uthman is like, oh, what's your source for that?
is from Georgetown. This is
Okay.
our source.
And where did they get that information from? Did they paid Tommy Robinson? Did they get receipts or?
I mean, this is just from. I mean, Georgetown has
I mean,
political
look,
analysts and
the
researchers
thing
that
is,
look into
right?
funding.
Like, first thing is,
yeah.
I just want to be very clear. One Message Foundation, or me personally, are not backed or supported or financially supported any government anywhere.
So you don't get any money from the UAE.
I do not get a single penny from the UAE.
Any UAE backed affiliates, officials.
No officials, no government bodies, no organizations from the UAE back me.
Okay.
Okay, not just from the UAE, not from Qatar, not from Kuwait, not from Saudi, not from Egypt, not from any government, not Iran, not any
So what?
any government, right?
Okay.
And I just want
Is that true? Is that true? So no government is backing Uthman. Okay.
to make a couple of things very clear, right? I do want to always be careful that when a kafir is telling us something, we need to verify it. I don't care if it's Georgetown or if it's
No,
MIT. We
I
don't need
don't
to verify it.
well, verify it, sure,
Okay,
but
so
I don't
that's-
I don't
I-
play the whole goyim game where someone's like, oh, they're goyim, oh, they're kafir, they're
Oh, no, no.
dehumanized.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that if a fasik brings you some news,
But a fasiq
verify
is
it.
different than a.
a fasik is less than a kafir.
But we
A
can't.
kafir
verify,
is worse than oh, of course we can.
we can't verify that these are kuffar.
Oh,
that the
I mean,
article
no,
writers-
but the university.
Okay, keep in mind this standard, by the way. Okay, Uthman standard. If a kafir comes, okay, non-Muslim comes and tells you something, you have to verify it. You can't just take it. Okay, keep this rule in mind because I have a feeling it's going to be relevant very soon. Okay, maybe not in this stream, but a upcoming stream. Just stay tuned for that.
University is not a Muslim university, right?
So what do you want to know about this sourcing?
I'd like to know where they got this information from. I mean,
The
like
hidden
for
global
example,
network behind Tommy Robinson. That's also
No,
the Guardian.
look,
How about the
look,
Guardian? Do you trust the Guardian?
no, I absolutely not.
They're
I mean, I'd like to know more.
anti-Israel.
Are they?
Okay.
Good. But I
Yeah.
mean, what I'm saying.
No one's saying like just trust the Guardian, trust Georgetown University, everything that they say is like revelation. Okay, no one is saying that. But if they are reporting on something and it's corroborated in multiple sources and the government officials don't even come out to deny it, right? How can they deny documents that have been leaked? Then okay, you have a reasonable assumption that it's true. you have a reasonable assumption that that information is true. And so Uthman's just blanket distrust, like, oh no, I don't accept this because it's kuffar. And until I see Tommy Robinson and MBZ shaking hands on video, I'm not gonna believe that he was paid. I'm not gonna believe anything. Like, you have this really high bar when it comes to accusations against the UAE, but if it's accusations against Iran, if it's accusations against other groups that you aren't aligned with, then suddenly you don't care if the info is coming or the accusations are coming from a kafir, if it's coming from Georgetown, if it's coming from the New York Times. Suddenly you don't care. Suddenly your standards are very different.
The thing is, are there many things that Georgetown is putting out that is anti-Muslim, right?
I want to get to, just because we have to agree on truths.
100%.
Meaning, like if everything is in limbo,
It's
if
not.
every source is
No, no, no.
questionable and every source
Again,
is kafir, or
you are way too intelligent to think that everything we read in the media on any news site can be blindly taken, right? I mean the anti-Muslim stuff that gets posted out of many of these think tanks, out of these universities, many of these news agencies, is absolute nonsense. Zionists and others have shown us that they've played both sides of the aisle. I mean, I think to
But I don't
ask
understand
for,
why they would attack their own tool, which is Tommy Robinson and the
again,
UAE.
uh, this is the issue, right? Where sometimes, and again, all I'm
Yeah. So the standards here are that when it comes to these outlets, you can't trust them. They're kafir. Okay? If it's a Muslim outlet, if it's critical of the UAE, oh, you can't trust them. They have the wrong aqidah. They have the wrong aqidah. They're ikhwani, or they're Rafidi, or they're Sufi, or they're Ash'ari. You can't trust. The only outlet that you can trust is like the Saudi Gazette. The only outlet that you can trust is like Arabiya. You know, the official Saudi outlets, the official Saudi government controlled outlets. That's the only news that you can really trust, because they're the only ones who are Muslim and have the correct aqidah. So basically, any other outlet in the world, no, that's not trustworthy. You know, how can you trust someone with the wrong aqidah? Okay. Anyway, so these are the lengths that Mufti Dubai goes to defend the UAE. Okay, so now I want to play this clip from Brother Muhammad Hijab. Okay, and he makes some very interesting statements. Okay, and his statements match up with my own experience. Okay, and so listen carefully to what he says. This is from a recent live stream.
Can we be frank? Okay, look, I can't. The reason why I wouldn't make this public is because, I mean, I don't have hard evidence for it.
No evidence.
I have some evidence, but I don't have hard evidence, and I won't even mention names or anything unless I ever do. All right. The reason why a lot of people say the things they say politically is because they are being paid. Okay, and they're du'at, and some of them mainstream du'at, and some of them non-mainstream du'at, but some they're being paid, and this I know they're being paid, but I don't know exactly the mechanisms of it, nor do I have the evidence, so I can't even make the claim. But I know.
Occam's razor,
I
the
know-
simple
no, no.
explanation is they believe in it.
No, listen. Let me tell you this. We went, did like a thing outside the the Chinese embassy
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, and Sabor was offered, okay, some kind of a proposal with money attached to it. From, I'm not going to mention from who or from what, because we don't want to get in trouble with anyone. Yeah. And I have to be honest, I remember driving with Sabor, and he said, I was offered this, and this is what they want from me, and this is what they'll give us, and whatever, blah, blah. And he rejected this. He said, because if we'll be beholden to, they'll hold us. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
true.
it. Do you remember when you got that proposal? Okay, so how many times, have we been offered stuff like that? It's indirect. They don't usually offer me. There was only a couple of guys in my life that have offered me things directly, okay, and put like, things on the table and this and that and whatever. But I have to be honest. There's, I'll be honest. It's not usually done like that. They usually like speak to you nicely, and then indirectly
Or
they
they'll
see how
tell,
you're,
yeah,
they see how you
Yeah.
respond to certain cues,
Yeah,
etc., etc., etc. But let me tell you this as a matter of fact, guys. Yeah, a lot of the du'at that have the views that they have it because they are being paid. Who are they being paid by? I'll tell you exactly who they're being paid by. They are being paid by people who belong to certain governments, usually rich governments. It's not Israel. They don't get paid. I mean, the du'at don't get paid by Israel. They usually get paid by some kind of an Arab government, okay? And it's not the government themselves. So it's somebody who knows someone who's in the cabinet of that government, and he's like a friend of a minister, and they get subcontracted to give like these sort of proposals and stuff like that. Do you see? So then it goes through a conduit, and then it gets to the person, and the person will sit with the other person and say, listen, you don't have to praise said country, okay? This is what's happening. You don't have to praise us, but you have at least attack our enemies. Do you see?
All right, let's pause here. So he's making a couple of claims, or 3 claims, main claims that we can focus on. Number 1, he says these du'at are being approached. They're being approached and they're being made offers. And it's not like something so direct, usually like, hey, you know, be our puppet and we're going to pay you. Like they're not going to say something like that. They're just going to give you some kind of, they're going to reach out, they're going to butter you up, they're going to say, you know, oh, we really like your work, you're an important voice, you have a lot of good material that you're putting out, we really appreciate it. And oh, you see some of these groups, they're like pro-Iran, or they're attacking, you know, Saudi, or they're attacking, you know, that's not right. You know, they're criticizing the shuyukh, like that's not good, right? They'll give you some indication, like they'll put out some bait basically, and they'll see how you respond. If you say, yeah, you know, it's really bad how they're criticizing MBS and MBZ, and oh yeah, they shouldn't say that about this Sheikh Fulan, or Fawzan, for example, Sheikh Fawzan, or this Mufti or that Mufti. They shouldn't be saying like that. If that's how you respond, then okay. Then they're going to go to the next step, the next step, the next step. And until there's like an arrangement that's made. Okay, so he's going to talk more about that. But that's point number 1. Point number 2 that he made is it's not direct, usually. Sometimes it is. Okay, sometimes it is literally direct, but we actually published on this on MuslimSkeptic when it comes to Abu Khadija. Okay, this Madkhali scum in the UK. Okay, the teacher of Shamsi, and we showed like the paper trail, government documents that Abu Khadija's organization is connected to this Saudi minister, like literally a Saudi minister with the Saudi government. And the paper trail is there. It's like registered with the UK government. So that's an example of a direct connection. Okay, when it comes to Abu Khadija and the Madkhali bootlickers in the UK. But what hijab is indicating is that it's not always that direct. Sometimes there's a middleman. Okay, there's someone who knows a minister. Sorry. There's someone who knows a minister who is contacting you, and that person, that go-between, is not indicating that he is actually a government agent or he's actually on the payroll of our government. He just says that, you know, I'm here to help. Sorry, hold on. Is this urgent? Anyway, so this go-between is not going to indicate that he's literally on a payroll of a government. He's just, you know, I just have some friends. I have friends in high places, and they can help you. They can help you, or they really like your work, and they're supportive. Okay, so it's like a go-between, a middleman. And that's usually the contact. That's usually the contact that they have. So, sorry. So that's what hijab is indicating. The third point that he's indicating, lost my train of thought. The third
You
point.
don't have to praise us.
Oh yeah, you don't have to praise us, okay? You just have to go after our enemies. Okay? So it's because they know it would be too obvious. It's too obvious if this person, this Dayam, starts saying, "Oh, I love Saudi, I love MBZ, I love Dubai, I love, going to Riyadh, I love," like, that's way too obvious. Like, are you a sheikh? Are you like an Islamic preacher? Or are you like a businessman? Are you like a diplomat promoting a certain country? Like, that's too obvious. And we have like our own officials for that. Like, we have our own paid people, like Sudais, for example, in Saudi, or all these medkhali bootlickers that we have literally on the government payroll in Saudi Arabia. We don't need you to do that. Okay, that's too obvious, and no one's gonna buy it outside of our own country. So for these Western du'at, no, you don't have to actually go out and like lay it on thick. No, instead, all you need to do is just go attack our enemies, criticize our enemies, criticize our geopolitical enemies, attack those who are attacking us online. That's all you got to do. And it's lucrative. It's lucrative. You're gonna make money. So this is what hijab is indicating.
But you have at least attack our enemies. Do you see? A lot of them get paid, and they make a good living, akhi. And it's hard when you start making 5,000, 10,000 pounds a month, and start flying business class, and you're having an excellent life and all this kind of. It's hard for those people. Yeah, it's in bank transfers. It's hard for them to go back. They don't care about the dawah. They're doing it for money. You understand this?
They don't care about the dawah. They're doing it for money. Obviously, if you're doing the work for a government, even if it's indirect, and this is a government that's involved with allying with the enemies of the Muslims, and it's a government that is promoting anti-Islam narratives, whining and dining someone like Tommy Robinson, building Hindu temples and inviting Modi and Hindutva into your country as celebrated collaborators, signing the Abraham Accords. Obviously, like, where is the concern for Islam? Like, where is the concern for the Muslims? You're just doing it for money. Like, that's the only explanation. You've sold your soul. Like, that's the definition of selling your soul.
These people are not religiously sincere.
So let me.
These people are, wallahi, this is the truth.
No, we had,
and some of these people, I like have 95% assurance that they get paid.
okay.
And some, and I can't say it because I don't have 100%.
Okay.
Some get paid, bro. They get paid by donors. I know that for a fact. They have donors, akhi. It's not like, okay, it's not like it's not the government that's paying the government in question. It's a donor who's connected with the government, and then we'll give them like the hints of what they'll tell them. Look, we want Iran to be like the target for now. Yeah, for example, or they'll say, for example, they want you've got to focus on this, mention Shiism. It's absolutely no what do you call it, coincidence that Shiism is starting to be spoken about by a certain segment of people that live in certain countries and certain places. And say, come on, man, are you being serious? Coincidence. They're being instructed, bro. They're being instructed. It's as simple as that. And with all due respect, like, I know because these proposals have been offered to us. That's why they hate us, because we've never accepted any of their proposals except for that one time. I'm joking. To be fair, like, you know what I'm trying to say. Look, do you know this is my principle, and I've always said it to everyone. Yeah, my principle is I'd rather be a free man with less money than a slave with a lot more money. Poor man. Because once you're no longer independent. I can speak to the people. Look, I'm speaking to the people live. homeless. There's only a few things I can't say for legal reasons, but I can pretty much be open and honest with the people at home right now.
Yeah, so who's talking about Shiism? Okay, who is talking? Suddenly, is their main focus is on Shiism? Their main focus is on Iran and how Iran is worse than Israel and all this narratives that we've been combating and debating. Who's like really laying it on thick? I mean, it's pretty clear who hijab is referring to. Anyway, so and what Sabur mentioned at the beginning of the clip, that, oh, well, it's Occam's razor, meaning the simpler explanation is not that they're getting paid. The simpler explanation is that they just sincerely hate Iran. They just sincerely hate Iran and Shiism to that extent. Is that really the simpler explanation? Because you have to factor in that they are losing so much support. They have basically discredited themselves. Because how can you claim to be a champion of Tawheed and you can't even condemn a Hindu temple being built? You can't condemn the Abraham Accords and normalization with Israel? Like, you lose all your credibility with the Muslims, like, for these issues that are so unpopular. The simplest explanation of that is like, okay, even if that is your conviction, like, maybe you'd keep it hidden for a minute. Like, you'd keep it hidden until, like, things change, until the geopolitical situation changes, like, the news cycle changes. Why are you going hardcore right now on this topic? On something that you've never talked about before, or you've hardly mentioned, or it hasn't been the priority of your discussion, your discourse. The simpler explanation is actually there's an ulterior motive. There is some other kind of strings attached. That is the simpler explanation, actually. That is one of the biggest pieces of evidence that raises suspicions. Like, that's one of the biggest red flags that there are. So Hijab says he doesn't know, like, the mechanism explicitly. So that's what we're going to talk about for this part of the show. I'm going to show you what is Mufti Dubai bin Cholo's connection with the UAE financially. And it's very clear cut. It's something that is, anyone who wants to look into it, you can easily look into it and discover this. And I want to share that with you today. So, first of all, let's see. So here is a video, okay, that has been put out just a couple of weeks ago. There you have Mufti Dubai, okay, sunglasses, of course. I guess he thinks it makes him look cool. I don't know what's the deal. He has to wear these sunglasses. Makes him, frankly, look like a clown, but okay. He's on this channel. I'm not gonna actually play the clip, okay? This is like an hour-long discussion on peptides. Big Pharma is hiding peptides because they actually work, okay? And this is this guy here has a peptide company selling peptides, okay? This kind of drug, this pharmaceutical substance. And Dawaman, okay, Imran bin Mansour, right, and this other peptide guy. So Imran is known, Dawaman is known that he made hijra, quote unquote. He made hijra to the UAE, and he's based out of Dubai, okay. And he also recently has come out anti-Iran, anti-Shiism, etc. And they're having a nice chat with Mufti Dubai here. They're talking about peptides. Okay, peptides are safe. They're halal. They'll change your life. They're gonna, make you sleep better. They're gonna make you lose weight. They're gonna make you less stressed. You're going to grow your hair back. All these claims are being made. And again, I'm not going to play the clip because they're going to copyright strike it. They're going to want this video to be taken down. So I'm not going to give them the opportunity by actually playing the clip. But you can go, if you don't believe me, and watch it. It's like extremely slimy, extremely disgusting. Okay, this is the sheikh, self-proclaimed sheikh, sitting there and being like a marketer for peptides. Selling peptides. Like it's basically an advertisement, an extended advertisement. And some of the comments, I think the top comment here, you go to the comments, explore whether peptide therapy is right for you. Okay, and we'll go to this link in a second. Okay, that's their pinned comment. And then the first organic comment says, this whole podcast was an advert for their products, LOL. So even the commentary is skeptical, like what's going on here. Okay, so this is like an advertisement for a product, a pharmaceutical product. And Uthman uses, first of all, he starts giving his own fatwa that, oh yeah, these are halal because your body has peptides already. So there's no objection if you inject peptides externally. It's fine. Like he's basically giving a fatwa. Interesting, right? Since he said that he's not a mufti when I asked him. But he's also bringing his experience in the pharmaceutical industry. Like he has experience doing something with big pharma in pharmaceutical. So he even brings that experience as extra authority to add to, the efficacy of peptides and how you really should look into peptides and start injecting yourself with retatrutide and whatever other new drug that they have. Okay? And then you go on the link and it takes you to this website. Pep Lab. UAE delivery in 1 to 2 days, right at the top of the page. Science that you can feel. Get Retta. Glow, all these different drugs. Recover and repair. And these aren't cheap. These are quite expensive products. Okay, you'd have to spend, for I don't know how much of a dose, $1,000 more. Lab verification. Okay, Abdul says 5 stars. Usmar says 5 stars. Okay, and then right at the bottom, it's, based in the UAE. UAE, UK, and US. See, this is a UAE-based company. And this is Uthman bin FAROOQ is shilling for this. So this is a new, highly profitable industry selling what is essentially experimental drugs because these things haven't been approved for human use. Okay, it's still very experimental, like these kinds of peptides. And people will have anecdotal evidence from people, saying that they're great, promoting them, it worked for me, etc. I don't know. Like, I'm not going to come out and say peptides are this or that. I don't know. But it's a drug. It's a pharmaceutical chemical that you're injecting into your body. What kind of side effects are there? What kind of negative consequences that there could be, along with positive side effects? I don't know. You'll have to consult your physician. But this is a company that's selling it for quite a high price. And it's being shilled by Sheikh Uthman bin FAROOQ, Mufti Uthman bin FAROOQ, who gives this fatwa that this is safe, this is halal. So, and it's based in the UAE. So this is a conflict of interest, right? Isn't it interesting that you have this business interest in the UAE, and you also are shilling the UAE and defending the UAE, like on that podcast? Like, I don't trust Georgetown. If Georgetown University and The Guardian are reporting that Tommy Robinson is getting paid by the UAE, I don't trust that. Is that organic, like an organic statement from Uthman, or is it because he has these business interests? Okay, so here is another example. Let me just change the... Here's another example for, okay, state of modern marriage, dating culture, unrealistic expectations, and high mahar. Okay, so this is a 2-hour long podcast. Okay, it's the D3 podcast. Okay, D3, that's Uthman's podcast. What does D3 stand for? Stands for Deen, Dawah, and Dunya. Okay, Deen, Dawah, and Dunya. It's supposed to teach you that there's nothing wrong with pursuing dunya. So when I'm in Dubai and I'm promoting products, I'm promoting businesses, that's dunya, that's halal. When I use the garb of a religious sheikh to promote products and to promote businesses and to make money off of that and tell you that, oh, for dawah purposes, you need to buy this, that's fine. And that's fine. That's fine for me to do. This is very sleazy. This is very sleazy, is it not? So here's the, again, a collaboration with Dawah Man about the state of modern marriage. And then what are they promoting? Another product. Okay, the marriage app. Okay, this is, hold on, let me get that. They posted this elsewhere. So the link to their Sunnah marriage app is in another linked video. I'll bring that up. But look, this is the site that it links to. Find your perfect match. Exclusive offer for Sheikh Uthman's viewers. So the video podcast directs to this website, Sunnah Match. Find your perfect match, get 30% off. Exclusive offer for Sheikh Uthman viewers. Okay, so what's Sheikh Uthman's cut? And again, this is Dawah Man based in the UAE. That good deal there for your Sunnah Match, another marriage app. Okay, so another product, another conflict of interest, another business interest. Here's another video. Asking Muslim millionaires how they got rich. Okay, Muslim millionaires, how do you get rich? And here they are in Dubai, in the UAE. There's Dawah Man again talking about how he made his millions. Halal investments. Oh, you can make so much money. 9 figures, 8 figures. Okay. So selling this idea with all these Dubai people who knows what they're actually about. And Mufti Dubai is there as well. Okay, then you go to the link, okay, to apply for membership. Okay, if you want mentorship rather. Business Accelerator. Go to here. How to make money so fast it feels haram. Interesting. Masterclass. Free training, no cost. 100% halal. Okay, $10,000 a month you could be making. Okay, yes, save my free seat. So what they do, you go to their free session and they say, look, you need to make a commitment. Pay $1,000, pay $2,000, and you'll be part of our club, part of our exclusive network, and then you'll get all these opportunities to start your own business and start making $10,000 per month passive income. Get on the way to those 9 figures that Dawah Man is talking about. Start rubbing shoulders with the Muslim millionaires. Okay, this is also Dubai-based, Dubai, UAE-based business. Okay. So, like, this is so, yeah, it just makes you feel disgusting to even read this stuff. Okay, this is another one of the links on Mufti Uthman's videos, okay, from his YouTube channel. Okay, you click on the link, he talks about it. He basically promotes it. He lends his brand name, and then this is what it leads you to: how regular Muslims are taking advantage of the new $539 billion industry to build a profitable halal online business. Okay, so fortunately, people fall for this. People fall for this stuff. Hasnain made hijrah to UAE after generating $85,000 a month. Wow. Halalincome.io. Okay, so who's the owner of this company? Okay, this guy. Ammar, the Biz Sultan. Based where? He's an entrepreneur. Based where? Dubai, UAE. Okay. He's going to show you how to make millions with the help of Mufti Uthman. So this is all like, and then if you go to this guy's account, like he's right on brand. Okay. Advocating against boycotts. Like, this is tweeted from 2024 where people are calling for boycotting the UAE. Boycott UAE, boycott Israel, boycott Starbucks, boycott McDonald's. Okay, this is what people are saying as a response to the genocide of Palestinians. And we know Rabbi Ferris came out and said, boycotting is haram. It's not up to you, Habibi. It's up to the ruler to boycott McDonald's and Starbucks in Israel. Not up to you, up to the ruler. Okay, and then Ammar, the business guru, the entrepreneur who's going to get you access to the $500 billion industry of halal, profitable markets. Okay, he says Muslims in the West are weak because of their own hypocrisy, quick to criticize Muslim countries like the UAE and condemn others for not boycotting, as if it's haram. Yet just as quick to excuse riba for a mortgage while their taxes fund the very oppressors they claim to oppose. Okay, the standard line that these Madkhali bootlickers use. This guy is going to sell you amazing halal business. You're going to start making $85,000 a month in Dubai. Anyway, so this is... And then here's another example. There you go. Mufti Dubai, Dawah man, Andrew Tate's lackey guy or associate, sartorial shooter or whatever his name is. Okay. Taking pictures with their motorcycles on a yacht, you know, the yacht podcast that we talked about in another episode, like just enjoying the dunya. That's halal. You can enjoy the dunya. When you're in the UAE, you just have to carry water for MBZ and justify his geopolitics and defend him from whenever he does something that like normalize with Israel or host Tommy Robinson or pay lobbyists to push anti-Muslim legislation in the UK and the United States. Like, you just have to defend that. Just have to defend that, carry water for that, and you can enjoy the dunya. You can enjoy the dunya. You can enjoy the halal income, passive income that Uthman bin FAROOQ and what's his face, Dawah man are selling you. So this is disgusting. This is absolutely disgusting. It's a conflict of interests. Like this is like the worst kind of commercialization of the religion that you can imagine, because it's commercialization, which is sleazy enough as it is. Like, you're a sheikh, like you don't have enough self-respect to like not be like a spokesman for every other thing. Like it's not like one or two things that you're promoting. You're promoting like all of these different products, pharmaceuticals, marriage apps, I don't know what. Like, this is the kind of new model of the da'i. The da'i as a businessman, the da'i as a millionaire who is going to show you, who's going to live, who's going to be, you know, on Instagram posing with the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris and the motorcycles. and he's going to be on the yacht, and he's going to share with you how you can make millions. Like, isn't that like something sleazy? Like, and I think we naturally have a repulsion to that. Like, pick a lane, choose, like, Dawah man as well. Like, Dawah man, like, how did you sell out so much? Like, how did you decide to take the kind of trust, whatever trust, I don't know for what reason people would trust medkhali bootlickers with their religion, and you want to redirect that to product, to consumerism? Like, buy this? Don't you feel exploitative? Like you're exploiting people? So I'm not saying that, oh, a da'i can't promote anything, like a da'i can't have any kind of product deal. I'm not saying that it's haram or anything like that. But isn't there like a line? Like, isn't there certain propriety? Like, isn't there like going too far with it? So that's one aspect. But the second aspect that makes it so much worse is that you have all of these connections with one particular country, and it happens to be a country that is a proxy for Israel. And now all of a sudden you're coming out pushing propaganda for that country. That's like 2 levels of conflict of interest. So I don't know how anyone, even if you like Mufti Dubai, I don't know for what reason at this point you would like him, but just for the sake of your own deen, like, how do you know what he's teaching you and what he's pushing and what he's promoting is actually Islam, and it's not something that is UAE approved Islam, UAE, Dubai, MBZ approved Islam? And you know that MBZ is not going to approve anything. Dubai is not, the UAE government is not going to approve anything as Islamic unless it's in line with the Zionist agenda, the Hindutva agenda. So you're basically getting Tel Aviv Dawah from Uthman bin FAROOQ. Like, that's the Senate. Like, that's the dependency, because of his all these business interests that he has. It's called conflict of interest. Okay, it's called conflict of interest, and it is something that is disqualifying. Very clearly so. Very clearly so. Now, if he were to come out and starts condemning the UAE, start saying, no, they shouldn't be allied with Israel, they shouldn't be normalized with Israel, like, okay, then looks like these business deals that you have in the UAE, like, maybe they're not compromising your message, maybe it's not compromising what you are putting to the Muslims. That's not the case. It's spectacularly not the case. So yeah, it's shocking, this level of commercialization and politicization of Islam, and it's being sold as dawah, and it's making all this money. It's making all this money. And so far as you consume this content from Mufti Dubai, like, you're supporting that. Like, you're supporting Israel by proxy. You're supporting Israel by proxy. You're supporting the proxy of Israel, which is the UAE. Where's that money going? Like, the economy of who is prospering? Unfortunately, because of the bad management and the betrayal of Islam by these rulers, by this government in the UAE, they are serving as a proxy for Israel. And you know for a fact, like, when it comes to these influencers, when it comes to their businesses, okay, when it comes to their operations are based in the UAE, whether they're selling peptides, whether they're selling like masterclass, entrepreneurship masterclass for halal income, whether they're selling whatever, okay, marriage apps, the fact that they're based out of the UAE means the government at any time can knock on their door and say, hey, we know that you're in contact with Uthman. If you want to remain in the UAE, you need to push him to actually have this message. to attack Iran, attack Shiism. That's the way it works in these countries. That's the way it works, especially in the UAE. And there are all these reports about the UAE residents. Their WhatsApp has been hacked by the UAE government. The UAE is monitoring literally what they are sharing on WhatsApp privately. Okay, and this is for people who don't know, like WhatsApp claims to be encrypted. Oh, you have high privacy in WhatsApp. No, it's easily accessible by these governments, what you are sharing on WhatsApp and other messaging apps. So they're getting pressured by the government. If you want to maintain your visa, you want to stay here, and you don't want us to throw you in prison, you have to have this line. You have to support us. You have to support MBZ, the royal family, the government. You have to support our geopolitics. And at the very least, you have to pressure your other contacts, these business contacts that you have, so that they also attack our enemies, defend us, defend our country. That's what's happening here. Like that is the paper trail. That is the chain of dependence that is able to control Uthman. Isn't it so obvious?
We need to verify sources.
It's obvious to me. So, okay, so I want to pause now for your commentary before going to the second part of the show where we're going to talk about hadith fabrication, which is probably even worse than being a prostitute for a UAE. Ridwana says, do you think the same entity is paying Dog Logic, other Islamophobes, and FAROOQ? The pic they took together speaks volumes, just connecting the dots. So that's what we're going to talk about next. We're talking about the selfie with Uthman and Dog Logic. And it's not the same entity. Like, it's not centralized in that way. Dog Logic is being paid by like Turning Point USA. Turning Point USA is funded by Zionists. Okay, so Dog Logic, that's where his money is coming from. He's being promoted through Turning Point USA. David Wood, for example, is being promoted by literal Zionist organizations that fund him. And I shared the proof of that in a previous live stream. But so it's not the same entity. It's not like one centralized bureau that, oh, we're writing checks to all the influencers to promote, you know, pro-Israel, pro-Judeo-Christian stance and anti-Shia, anti-Iran stance. That's not how it works. But it's the underlying interests are the same, because the pro-Israel interests that support Dog Logic and David Wood also support anti-Shiism, anti-Iran from the Gulf. Akus says, even Mufti Cheesecake is more legit than Uthman. Yeah, that goes without saying. Shout out to Mufti Cheesecake. Like, I would take fatwa from Mufti Cheesecake before I take it from Mufti Dubai. For sure. Ahmed Basir, thank you for your contribution. Appreciate it. Akus says, Uthman's secret move: covers himself in ketchup, rolls on the floor before jumping to his feet and sprinting while softly asking, what's a debate? Interesting. Lord Meislin says, salam bro, alaikum salam. Why do you avoid swearing but say retard? Retard is a swear now? Like, I don't think it's a swear word. Like if you say someone is stupid, if you say someone is an idiot, if you say someone is a moron, if you say someone is a retard, like those are all terms used for those who are mentally disabled. Like those are all derogatory, pejorative terms for those who are mentally disabled. So if you call someone stupid, how is calling someone a retard worse than calling someone stupid or a moron or an idiot? Like moron was the medical definition for someone who has this kind of mental disability. Moron or idiot. Like we're talking about 80 years ago or 100 years ago. That was the medical term. Like he is a diagnosed moron. And then it became used within the vernacular, within colloquial English, like you use that as a pejorative, as an insult. Same with retard. The King Boba says, I swear the psyop done to people is insane. Wallahi, I've lost 2 family members in Lebanon already, and out family home, and my grandparents' home to access of Epstein. Yeah, very sad to hear it, bro. That's unfortunate. May Allah protect you and your family. Also, the King Boba, have never had any problems with my Sunni brothers. I've always understood we have a different view to how we seek knowledge from, but I've never slandered or cursed the Sahaba. This insane narrative because of social media needs to end. LOL, we can barely help our loved ones. We really don't have time. Yeah, like that's the majority of Shia. They've never slandered the Sahaba. Like it's not even something many of them have even heard about. That's the sad thing. That's the crazy thing. Like I told you, like I grew up as a Shi'i. Okay, as a Shi'i, the first 15 or 16 years of my life, I was a card-carrying, self-identifying Shi'i. Never cursed the Sahaba. Never. Never cursed them, and I didn't even hear anyone curse them from my Shi'i family members. Like it wasn't like a topic. It wasn't like an issue. So I'm not saying that there aren't Shia that curse the Sahaba. Clearly they are. Clearly it is a part of their tradition, and it's wrong, it's deviant, and we reject it. But to side with Israel on that basis, to side with the United States on that basis, is disgusting. And King Boba also says, alhamdulillah, for everything we have lost a lot of our loved ones and our family homes, but at least we stand shoulder to shoulder with our brothers and sisters in Palestine, and we are Shia, but at least we are not hypocrites. Love your work. Thank you, bro. Really appreciate it. Thank you for your contributions, and we make dua for all our brothers and sisters in Lebanon, and also in southern Lebanon in particular, and inshallah these Zionist criminals will be driven out very soon. No thanks to these munafiqeen in these other countries that are supporting the invaders and occupiers. Captain Caliphate says, selling a product is one thing, but this get-rich-quick stuff is what comes off as slimy, and not just Muslims would feel this way. Yeah, I mean, this is something that you should be aware of. Like, there are a lot of these get-rich-quick scams out there, and I've seen them, and they use this kind of spiritual card, like this religious card, and they want to say that, oh, all you need to do to make your first millions is join our network and make dua. Like, and it's slimy because you're mixing like a religious element and this kind of monetization element, and oftentimes, more often than not, it's a scam. It's a scam. Do not write these big checks to join a network, to like, if you want to help your brothers and sisters make money, if there really was like a path to that, that's like, that can be shared like on a group chat, okay, then share it openly. Like, share it openly is not that difficult if that were the case. If it were that simple. In reality, it's not simple. Like, you have to do a lot of work, and sure, a mentor can guide you, maybe make a connection or two for you, but that's something that's less expensive than these thousands of dollars per month group memberships. Like, you can just contact someone on LinkedIn, especially now with AI. Like, you can ask questions of AI, you can get contacts through your own legwork. If you're really serious about becoming an entrepreneur, making these kinds of moves, like, there's all kinds of resources for free that's available to you. When you're part of these networks, like, they're not going to really add more value, most likely, than what you can gain on your own. Anyway, that's my practical recommendation. I'm not saying that everyone who is offering these services is a scam artist or is a grifter, but a lot of them clearly are. Ahmed says, Alhamdulillah, I lost 70 pounds on retatrutide. 99% of peptides are safe. Problems is these guys buy in bulk from China, sell a $30 vial for hundreds. It's a scam. Okay, if you say so, I don't know. Consult a doctor. I don't know, but I'm skeptical. Like, I wouldn't use these kinds of drugs. I would not use them because you're introducing like a chemical agent into your body. You're introducing a chemical agent, and there's no way to know the downstream effects of that. And cancer is on the rise, like the rates of cancer that people are getting, tumors that they get. And a lot of it, I think, might be because of chemical agents, not just through like these peptides, but other pharmaceutical products that are used, vaccines. So, my policy is just use as little of these chemical agents, pharmaceutical products as necessary. Like I avoid even taking Tylenol. I avoid even taking aspirin as much as possible. Sometimes like you have no choice. I understand that. I'm not completely against any kind of pharmaceutical, but I try to limit it to need-only basis. Like need-only basis. If you want to lose weight, diet. Okay, if you want to lose weight, diet, exercise, and that's safer. And also, like these drugs, most of them, if you want to lose 70 pounds, great, but you have to be on the drug constantly. As soon as you stop taking the drug, stop taking the peptide, all the weight is going to come back. In most cases, right? I think in 90% of cases, all the weight comes back. So you're basically on this drug permanently. Is that smart? End sentence, next line, please. Are there different rankings of Gulf countries that do what UAE is doing? UAE and Saudi is worst. How about the other countries? Yeah, they're not all the same. I've given my rankings in other streams. So, obviously, I think Oman, Qatar are not as bad. Oman, Qatar, Yemen is the best. Certain parts of Yemen. Jalaluddin Rumi, salam brother, wa alaikum assalam. A bit unrelated, but I'm going through some tough time. Please make dua for me. May Allah make it easy for you, brother. Ameen. May Allah make it easy and ease your worries, ease your pain, ease your anxiety, and bring you to better times and better situation. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. This life is short. Did you see his interview about 9/11? Israel wasn't mentioned even once, yet he latched onto the Iran part. Yeah, so this is what we're going to talk about. We won't have time to talk about it today, but we will talk about it maybe next week about the interview that UTHMAN bin FAROOQ did with the former U.S. government official. Okay, and talking about Iran. That's why I was saying, like, pay attention when he says his rule. Oh, we can't trust what the kafir says, what the kuffar. We can't just trust on their or take their word for it. Okay, so we're gonna watch how much of the word of some kafir former government agent, how much of his word UTHMAN accepts without question. So heads up, you know, spoiler alert. Nice says, I always see right through him. He was just backed UAE. I can tell by people he hang with all the time. He always hang with worst of Gulf. Yes, the Gulf connected people. Sammy says, do you train weights or take whey protein and creatine? Yeah, I've taken whey protein before when I'm lifting, especially. Whey protein is just like a milk product. It's not like a chemical agent. It's just taken from milk. So probably not a problem. Just make sure you're getting it from a good source of whey protein, organic, etc. Creatine is also like many studies on creatine, and it seems to be safe to use as well. And for some people, for most people, I think over 70% of people, like it really helps you. Like just get volume in your muscles, and it has other benefits. It has like cognitive benefits as well. So creatine is another substance that's not like, it's a food substance. Like you can get from meat, like eating meat. creatine is coming from meat products. But when they isolate it, they make a powder. You can take it as a supplement. I don't think there's a problem with that. But can have like the worst side effect of creatine is that it gives you cramps, like really bad muscle cramps. So if you don't get cramps and you see some positive effects like more muscle fullness or cognitive benefits, like you're sharper cognitively because of creatine, no problem. But that's way different than a peptide or a semaglutide that you're injecting, and they're just like experimental drugs that are just now being introduced to the market. Parviz, thank you for your super chat. Appreciate it. Okay, now let's get to the second part of the show about fabricating hadith. Okay, this is very shocking. And it's relevant. Why? Because Uthman is here taking a selfie with dog logic. Okay. So people immediately pointed out the hypocrisy, the double standards. Uthman makes a big deal. We can't ally with Iran. They insult the Prophet ﷺ. We can't ally with them. But here he is having a good time, having a lot of fun with his Christian friends, who are rabid anti-Muslim critics who insult the Prophet ﷺ, insult the Sahaba, use vile language, openly attacking Islam. It's no problem, you know, taking a selfie, holding out the camera, having a good time. Like, so this is a scandal. This was caused a lot of outrage, so much so that Uthman put out a statement. Okay, he put out a statement and he said, I didn't know Dog Logic's views. I didn't know. It was just a debate that I went to and I didn't know. Really? You didn't know Dog Logic's views? Like, you weren't aware that Dog Logic is putting out all of this rabid anti-Muslim content that has now got into increasingly vile insults against the Prophet ﷺ? You didn't know that? That's hard to believe. It's hard to believe, especially since you've had so many interactions with Dog Logic, so many videos that you've done together, in person, also remotely. So this excuse of ignorance is hard to believe. It's really not plausible, Uthman. So he's posting these selfies, even posting pictures with women, or taking pictures with women. And these are Christian apologists, women, who are standing, having a picture with Uthman, and they're posting on social media. How is this acceptable? Another one of these female Christian apologists getting a nice smiling picture, selfie with Sheikh Uthman, Mufti Dubai. I guess that's allowed. I guess that's allowed when you're a celebrity mufti with your sunglasses indoors. Okay, so apparently, like, look at the treatment. Like, look at the treatment that Uthman has with these rabid anti-Muslim insulters of the Prophet ﷺ versus how he treats me. Versus how he treats me. Not on just one occasion, on multiple occasions. I go and speak at his conference, and he interrogates me on my aqidah. Okay? Remember that? From 3-4 years ago? I invite him to a nice conversation about geopolitics. He ambushes me. He brings someone on to insult me, a third party on, like some IDF-connected agent, Jumas, to come and interrogate me. That's how he treats Muslims. But when it comes to the Christian enemies of Islam, smiling selfie, holding up his finger. Oh, because he cares so much about Tawheed, guys. One Allah, right? With the Christian woman. Okay, so how is this, like, this is what I've been telling you about Wahhabism all this time, okay? Because when the Wahhabis started attacking me, after October 7th, when I was calling for pan-Islamic unity, they started attacking me. I told you that this is what Wahhabis are all about. They make alliances with the Jews and the Christians, and they create non-stop civil war for the Muslims. Any Muslim who is not a part of their Wahhabi ideology, they takfir, or they accuse of shirk. This is the Wahhabi MO. I told you that. I told you that. And some of you might have thought that, well, Daniel is just taking this personally. It's because Daniel is being attacked. Now he's lashing out. He's making up stuff about Wahhabism. We don't believe it. Do you believe it now? Do you believe it? Haven't I showed you all these examples? All these examples have been revealed to you, have been exposed to you over and over again. Whether it's Uthman bin Cholo, whether it's Adnan, Rajit, okay? Whether it's Fareed, whether it's Jake, all of these clowns. Very friendly, very lovey-dovey, taking the selfies, defending them, okay? They have proven over and over, we can't have alliance between Muslims and Hindus. We must have a Muslim-Hindu alliance. Isn't that what Adnan Rajit says? Isn't Adnan Rajit out there saying, my beloved rabbi? Did you see that? My beloved rabbi, can I hug you, my beloved brother? That's what Adnan Rajit says to the Zionists who are denying Palestinian genocide to his face. He still says, may I kiss you? Okay, may I hug you? But when it comes to pan-Islamic unity, or when it comes to someone who doesn't share their deviant aqidah of Ibn Abdul Wahhab, oh, you mushrik, you shirk apologist. I'm going to ambush you. I'm going to interrogate you. I'm going to smear you. I'm going to sign documents disassociating from you, disavowing you. Is that not what they do? These Wahhabis, hasn't it been proven to you that this is the Wahhabi MO? If you didn't believe me 2 years ago or 3 years ago, hopefully it has been proven to you clearly, repeatedly, decisively. This is what Wahhabism calls for. This is why Wahhabism is a cancer. It is deviant. And these are their representatives. These are the Wahhabi representatives. This is their sheikh. This is their sheikh. Did they disavow? Did the Wahhabis disavow Uthman and say, Uthman, this is too far? Where? No, he's still, in their good graces. Why? Because, MBZ says so, I guess. MBZ says so. Yeah, this is acceptable? This is acceptable, Wahhabis? So I just want some consistency. That's all. That's my role, is just to demand consistency. And you decide. You decide if I'm being fair. You decide if I have double standards or not. Okay, so now, given that Uthman came out and he said that actually well, let me show you his excuse. Okay, that I can comment on that for 2 seconds. That also is worth commenting on. Let me just post it. Or do you want to see Adnan Rajit slobbering over a rabbi? Which one? I mean, that's truly just disgusting, vile. But, like, there's no bottom. Like, they have no shame, and so it just gets worse and worse. Okay. So he says, I want to directly address the photo that was recently posted of me with Avery. Okay. So this is One Message Foundation, but it's Uthman writing in the first person. I thought he didn't have access to these social media platforms. Didn't he say he doesn't have social media? Remember when I pressed him that, hey, why does your channel, your official channel, call you sheikh, call you mufti? And he said, oh, well, I don't control that. Oh, you don't? You don't control that, but you can post your messages directly on the official channel. How does that work? So this is the kind of dishonesty that we've come to expect from Mufti Cholo. At the time the photo was taken, he says, I was not aware of some of the perverted and reprehensible views he has publicly expressed. The photo was taken immediately following a heated 1 versus 10 debate at the request of the event host as a gesture of basic civility. It was not a social gathering, nor was it an expression of friendship, endorsement, or mutual respect. You know, smiling for a selfie is not an endorsement of mutual respect. Okay. I do not socialize with, associate with, or tolerate people who promote such vile ideas. My interactions with individuals like this are limited to publicly refuting their falsehoods and exposing their claims. I also want to be absolutely explicit. I completely reject and condemn the views he has promoted. Nothing about that photo should be interpreted as approval, support, or acceptance of his rhetoric. I would never knowingly lend credibility to such ideas or want anyone to think they're acceptable. So the problem here is with the double standards, okay? If he made a mistake and unintentionally, unknowingly, like took a picture, whatever, okay? We just roll our eyes, move on, okay? The problem is his double standard. Because he is so insistent on Iran, okay, on the Shia. He is so insistent. His entire argument, his entire line of attack against me in multiple videos and streams is that we cannot have pan-Islamic unity because there is no unity with the Shia. When Israel and the United States are bombing Lebanon, they're bombing Yemen, they're bombing Iran, and they're killing dozens and hundreds and thousands of Muslims and displacing hundreds of thousands more. We have to be neutral. We have to be neutral, actually, if not hoping that Israel and the US win. Why? Because they insult the Sahaba. They insult the Sahaba. That's the line, right? Even though the Shia themselves that are being killed and mass murdered, they don't insult the Sahaba. Actually, they have no idea what that's about. Most of them, the vast majority of them. They're Muslims who are praying 5 times a day. They're eating halal meat. Their women are wearing hijab. They're praying towards the Qibla. They're reading Quran. Okay, but they're Shia, so they deserve to be bombed and destroyed and killed and turned into refugees by Israel and the United States. Like, that's the Wahhabi line, is it not? That's the Wahhabi sectarian line, is it not? Your whole standard is we cannot ally with them. They insult the Sahaba. Okay, well, these Christians are insulting the Prophet ﷺ. How can you take a selfie with them? If you're so concerned about not allying with those who insult the Sahaba, then if you were consistent, you wouldn't take these selfies. You wouldn't show any kind of indication, the slightest indication that you are on good terms with them. But you did. You took a picture and you even promoted the picture. You even put it on your own social media. So this is a double standard. And it's not like you didn't take one selfie. That's the other part of his dishonesty. He makes it sound like it was just one picture for courtesy purposes. The event host asked us for courtesy, basic civility. One picture, guys. Actually, there are multiple pictures, like with other of these people. Okay, this is a Christian apologist. This lady is a Christian apologist attacking Islam. So you're taking a smiling selfie with her, a woman as well. Okay, uncovered woman, smiling selfie. Is that allowed Islamically? Just want to know. So these excuses are so disgusting. Like, the excuse is worse than the sin, as they say. So anyway, Mufti Cholo denies, like, I had no idea of his perverted views, he claims, pleading ignorance. So, okay, I wanted to see, well, what is the history of Uthman bin Farouk with dog logic? And it's a long history working to not together, but multiple videos debating each other, arguing with each other. So how did he not know what dog logic's beliefs are? His perverted and reprehensible views. I was not aware. Really? So, I mean, this is hard to believe. So then there's a particular video, a particular incident that happened 4 years ago between Dog Logic and Uthman. And it is so vile and so embarrassing, so humiliating for Muslims. And so this is something that needs to be called out. Okay, especially given that Uthman seems to be on selfie-taking terms with these Christians, and yet he claims that he doesn't know about their views. Okay, how about we listen to their views and remind you of your own interactions with these individuals? So let's watch this because it's absolutely shocking.
Only find Jesus being identified as the Messiah.
Where?
In the Quran and the Hadith.
In the Quran, in a Hadith, for example, when we talk about them being Rusul, right? This puts them at the same thing as being a Messiah. Right?
Really?
Yeah, somebody who's bringing a message.
Okay, so what is a reference for that? Like, is
So Uthman says that being a Rasul is basically synonymous with being a Masih, being a Messiah. This is what he says. And Dog Logic is confused. He's like, wait, what? What's your source for that?
Is it in the Quran or a Hadith where you can equate a Rasul, like you said,
Sure,
right, to a Messiah?
No problem. I'll get you on that. Come back next Sunday. We'll bring you some books.
Okay. So I actually.
So that was just a partial clip. In that same interaction, Uthman says that Abraham, Moses, and even Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam were also Messiah, were also messiahs. This is crazy. This is a shocking thing to claim. And he's just making it up. He's just making it up. Why? Because the Christian apologists, like Dog Logic, they have this stupid argument that, oh, well, see, in Islam, Jesus is special. He's the Messiah. And if he's special, he has a status that other prophets don't have, then why shouldn't you think that he's the Son of God? Like, this is the retarded logic that they're trying to use. And Uthman, instead of saying that, well, you know, different prophets have different distinguishing things that make each one special. Isa has something special about himself. He's the Messiah. He's the Messiah. He has a special role. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has a special role. Ibrahim had a special role. Nuh had a special role. Adam had a special role. Adam was special because he was the first. Okay, he was the first human that Allah created with his hands. That's special. Okay, that's a special distinction that Adam alayhi salam has that other Anbiya, other prophets don't have. Is that not the case? Moses has something special. Allah spoke to him directly. Okay, he has something special. So different Anbiya have been distinguished with special things that are unique to them. That doesn't cause a theological problem for Islam. Instead of responding like that, Uthman says, oh no, Messiah can refer to any messenger. See? Like, which is wrong. It's factually something wrong. He just made something up about Islam. And then he tells Dog Logic, oh, I'll bring you the proof. I'll bring you the books. Next week, come back next week, I'll bring you the books. So God Logic does that. God Logic comes back in a week to see what the evidence is from the Quran and Hadith. That there can be multiple messiahs and that any messenger can be referred to as a messiah, as a Masih.
Is there anywhere in the Quran or the Hadith
Yes.
where anybody else other than Jesus is called the Messiah?
Yes.
You said yes.
Yes.
We would like to warn you that the level of deception here by Uthman ibn Fibn has surpassed anything that we ever expected or have seen before.
So the Christians, okay, did a fact check on Uthman, and they brought one of these Arab Christians who speaks Arabic to fact check Uthman. And it is just so humiliating, okay, to see someone who is considered a sheikh being so dishonest and getting exposed like this by Christians, by the worst kind of khabith, filth apologists, okay, Christian apologists, coming and exposing someone who is considered by Muslims to be a sheikh. Like, this is humiliating for the Muslims, and this is why it's so important that we disassociate. Okay, this is not a sheikh. Uthman is a charlatan. He is not a sheikh. We do not take him as an authority. He is not knowledgeable about the religion. He can't even read Surah Al-Fatiha from the Mus'haf. Okay, we need to be clear on this so that Christians don't say, hey, your shuyukh are lying and fabricating hadith. Like, we need to be clear about that. So they made this video. And it's gone viral about Uthman's hadith fabrication.
What is that?
This is from the Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shayba. You know what that is?
No, what is that?
No, it's a book of hadith. In the Musannaf of Ibn Abi Shayba, volume number 6, page number 479, this is the hadith sanadan, with the sanad, with the chain that reports about ta'dir. You know what ta'dir is? Is the punishments that were handed out. Okay. So here is the entire sanad. Hadathna Abu Bakr, hadathna al-Waki', al-Mubarak, al-Hasan, and Amr. You understand the chain, right? It says, وتخليص هذا الضرب والتعذير هذا بيننا من شريعة مصاحة.
Whoa, hold on. Why is he saying the chain of the hadith with all the names and then not reading the words of the hadith and going straight to the footnote pretending it is the hadith? Why is he not reading the hadith? The hadith is up above. Why is he reading the footnote written by the modern editor below it? Unbelievable. I thought he studied the hadith.
Graduated from the Islamic University of Islamabad with a master's focused in hadith. You understand the chain, right?
Is he trying to attribute the chains to the words of the modern editor who wrote the footnote at the bottom? That's very naughty. Trying to corrupt your own hadith with the words of a modern person? What's going on?
Graduated from the Islamic University of Islamabad with a master's focused in hadith. It says, وَتَخْلِيص هَذَا الضَّرْبِ وَالتَّعْذِيرِ.
Alright, so the Christian, like, he says Musannaf ibn Abi Shayba, this, and he gives a volume number and a page number. So the Christians go back and they look it up online, and they see that what Uthman is reading, what he's trying to read, is not the actual hadith. It's like a footnote. It's a footnote of the editor. The editor is writing commentary, and Uthman is pretending like that's the hadith. Okay, but it gets much worse.
Oh my goodness, his Arabic is terrible. It doesn't say that. I don't know what language he was speaking, but it was not Arabic. And he read the sentence from the middle, which doesn't make any sense for anyone who reads and understands a language to read a sentence from the middle and not from the beginning of it. Let us read the full sentence in Arabic properly. I'll stop and start to translate as I'm reading through it. It says, فانظر عزيزي القارئ إلى عظيم شرائع الإسلام. So see, dear reader, how great the laws of Islam are. أن القوانين الوضعية في عصرنا الراهن قد اتجهت هذا الاتجاه بعد كثير معاناة وطول عذاب للناس. That man-made laws of our time have moved towards that direction after much suffering and torture of the people. وما زالت بعض البلاد إلى الآن لم تتخلص من عادة الضرب والتعذيب هذه، بينما الشريعة المسحاء قد جاءتنا بهذا الحكم واضحا سهلا. And some countries have still, until now, not got rid of the habit of beating and torture, but the gentle Sharia has brought us this ruling, clear and easy. We'll stop here. As you have seen, this is an editor's note, starting with, Dear reader, for goodness sake, not a hadith, Mr. Shameful Uthman ibn Fibn, and the editor is trying his best to draw a comparison between the laws of the Sharia and the modern day reality in the Muslim world, according to his view. It is a modern comment by a modern editor. It is not a hadith. And in his comment, he did a typo. Instead of saying Ash-Sharia Samha, which means gentle Sharia, which is a very common title given to the Sharia, as we will see later, by everyone in the Arabic Muslim world, he made a small typo. He switched the letters around to something that resembles the word that Uthman ibn Fibn wants it to be. He wants it to be plural of Messiah, but it isn't. It's just an adjective for the Sharia, meaning gentle Sharia. Even when typing in the incorrect phrase into Google, Google corrects it and brings up the edition of the book where it's incorrectly written, and it happens to be what Uthman brought. Ironically, the only other website that brings up this error is a Shia online library, a sect that Uthman ibn Fibn disapproves of.
So you are going to a random Googled website, right? And I'm just saying Shia because of the name, right?
If anybody wants to be kind enough to bring that typo to their attention, here are the details of the editor and the publisher of that particular volume. Shame on him and his lack of Arabic knowledge and his arrogance. Let's continue.
Masaha. You know what Masaha is?
What is that?
Is the plural for Masih.
First of all, it's not Masaha, it's Musaha, which is the plural of Masih. This word Musaha does not exist in the whole of Islam. Okay? The plural of Messiah in Arabic, Musaha, does not exist in the whole of Islam. Not in one ayah, not in a hadith, not in a tafsir, not by a scholar. Nothing. Except, of course, if you count this typo by a modern day editor who's alive today who just happened to switch the two letters. In fact, if you Google the word Musahha, all you get is Christian websites talking about false messiahs and false prophets the Lord Jesus Christ warned about, which is kind of ironic if you think about it. And you get this one typo which happened to be on a Muslim site. I'm suspecting this is what Uthman ibn Fibn did in his homework when he went back to try and deceive this brother, thinking, okay, let me try and find this word Musahha anywhere. Found it. It's a typo on a footnote by a modern day editor who's talking about the situation in the world today.
Yeah.
So what does that say?
So it says that this punishment, where about different crimes and things, has been handed down to us from the laws of all of the Masihs, which is all of the Anbiya.
It doesn't say the law of someone, because if that was the case, it wouldn't have al, the definite article. For example, to say the Sharia of prophets, it would say Shariat al-Anbiya, saying the word Sharia without the definite article. But here, it says al-Sharia with the definite article, meaning that the word coming after it is relating to it and describing it. Grammatically, it does not make sense how he's lying about it. It is not relating to prophets or messengers. It is relating to the Sharia itself because of the al, the definite article that we can see preceding it.
Go home, pick up your Nahu books. I'm out.
Now brace yourself.
Yeah, this guy is constantly saying, like, he knows Nahu and he teaches Nahu, and we saw, like, with Surah Al-Fatiha, Maliki Yawmiddin, he read it as, or he wrote it on the board as Malikil Yawmiddin, Al-Yawm Ad-Din, instead of Maliki Yawmiddin. He just adds the alif lam, okay, and then he doesn't know what like an idafa is. So this Arab Christian has to point it out and humiliate him and show him that you're just making up your translation. Even if this wasn't a typo, even if this weren't a typo, your translation of it is completely wrong because you don't understand what an idafa is.
For the level of deception we discovered when we spoke to the brother who was there at the park with Uthman. He took a picture of the paper that Uthman was reading from, and on zooming in onto the paper, we saw very clearly how Uthman had copied and pasted the footnote from the bottom of the page and included it right next to the words of the hadith. The words of the hadith said, just to the right of the yellow box here, warn the thief, but do not cause him to fear. The Arabic for that is روع السارق ولا تراعه. Then right next to it in the yellow box it says فانظر عزيزي القارئ. So see, dear reader. He included the note for the dear reader in the wording of the hadith, as if they were part of the hadith. He doctored the hadith to include those words, copied and pasted them side by side in a Word document, then printed it out as if he had got it from the original. Feel free to zoom in, pause, and check for yourself how the wording of the footnote has been copied and pasted and matches exactly as is on the paper. We'll also link the website in the description for you. Uthman ibn Fibn caught red-handed, copying and pasting a modern-day person's words into the hadith of Umar as if they were said by him. Wow, shame.
Is
Masah.
Go ahead.
ميم سين ح ألف همزة.
Ah, this is so precious. He can't pronounce it, so he spells it. And notice how he pauses and looks down at the paper just one last time before he starts talking again to remind himself how to spell it. So obvious he doesn't know anything.
Is
مساحة.
Go ahead.
ميم سين.
No, my friend. Sharia is known all over the Arab world as Sharia Samha, and some people use the more correct term Sharia Samha. Let me show you. It is not Sharia al Masha, as the typo said. It is Sharia as Samha. Starts with a sin, an S sound for the non-Arabs. Not with the meme, the M sound for the Messiah. It starts with an S, a sin. But don't take my word for it.
شريعة مصاحة.
الشريعة السمحة.
مصاحة.
السمحة.
شريعة مصاحة.
الشريعة السمحة.
مصاحة.
سمحة.
شريعة مصاحة.
الشريعة سمحة.
شريعة مصاحة.
الشريعة السمحة.
Your trick destroyed. Destroyed.
Finished and done, eh? Uthman ibn Fibn, you're the one who...
Yeah, so this is shocking. So again, like, to summarize, like, this dog logic Christian apologist comes to Uthman in the park and he brings this argument. Why is the Messiah so special in Islam? Only Jesus is known as the Messiah. Rather than respond to this correctly, Uthman says, no, it's not special for Jesus. Other messengers are, you can apply the term Messiah, Masih too. And then Dog Logic says, really? I've never heard of this before. What kind of hadith supports what you're saying? And Uthman says, oh, don't worry, I'll bring you the hadith. Then probably Uthman went and did his research, did some Googling, and realized his mistake. There is actually no concept of multiple messiahs in Islam. Okay, you can't call the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam Masih. You can't call Ibrahim alayhi salam Masih. You can't call Nuh alayhi salam Masih. It's only for Isa. It's only for Jesus. He realized this, but rather than come to Dog Logic the next week and say, hey, I made a mistake. Masih is only for Jesus. I was mistaken. I misremembered. Rather than own up to his mistake, Uthman doubles down. He doubles down and he goes Googling for any hadith, any book that has some kind of plural form of Masih, of Messiah. And then he comes across this footnote and he rearranges the editor's note, the footnote, to be a part of the main text and claims that this is the hadith because it says Masha or Masaha, or however he pronounced it. Okay? And he knows that Dog Logic is not going to be able to know Arabic and is not going to be able to question him on that. But I don't know what kind of thought process he had. Did he not know that he was going to be recorded and that others are going to fact check him? This is a huge blunder, like, so stupid. But the shocking thing is that either, my Husnul Dhan wants to say that, look, he just doesn't know any Arabic. He doesn't know, like, hadith. Like, maybe he has a master's degree, but it's like through some kind of fraudulent means that he didn't actually complete any kind of degree. Like, that would be shocking. Like, someone is not able to distinguish the metan of a hadith with an editor's footnote. Like, it's shocking. And you have a master's in hadith and you allegedly wrote a master's thesis in Arabic and you don't know the distinction between the metan of a hadith and a footnote. Okay, like, that's your level of ignorance. Okay, that's like the Husnul Dhan interpretation of what happened here. The other possibility is that he's just fabricating hadith. He's just fabricating hadith to, like, own a Christian apologist on a video. That's shocking. That's shocking. So either he is a complete ignoramus and should not be called sheikh, like he's, even a child knows more than him. even a child knows that no, Masih is a term reserved for Jesus, alayhi salam, Prophet Jesus. Or he's like a hadith fabricator. And we know the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says in the Sahih hadith that anyone who attributes a lie to me, he should take his seat in the fire. Anyone who fabricates, knowingly fabricates against the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, says that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said something that he didn't, knowingly lying, let him take his seat in the fire. It's very severe. It's very severe to make up a hadith or to claim that something is a hadith like this, and then to like do a cut and paste job, and then not even be able to read it, not even understand what you're reading. So that's the one possibility. The husn dhan possibility, if we want to have a good suspicion of Uthman, is that he's a complete ignoramus. He's a complete charlatan. He doesn't know Nahu. He doesn't know Arabic. He doesn't know Hadith. He doesn't have a degree or a legitimate degree. So, and now people are actually starting to question Uthman. They're like, you claim that you have a master's in Hadith. We want to see the student registration at this Islamic University of Islamabad. We want to make sure that you actually were registered and you actually graduated as you claim. Now people are going and doing the legwork, and Uthman has been very quiet. He hasn't been forthcoming with any kind of documentation proving that he actually was at this university and he actually graduated with a degree. So we'll see what comes out of that. Okay, we'll see if he's able to respond to the allegations that actually he's lying about having a degree in Hadith, a master's in Hadith. We'll see. Okay, which is funny because he wanted to interrogate me about my Islamic learning, if you remember in that ambush. Okay, and this whole time, does he even have a degree in Islam from anywhere? He can't even read Surah Al-Fatiha from the Mus'haf. He's fabricating Hadith, either ignorantly or knowingly. Both are bad possibilities. So this is the humiliation ritual that Muslims have to go through when we take someone like Uthman bin Cholo here as a sheikh, as a da'iyah, and give him like millions of views and pretend like he's some knowledgeable sheikh. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. Like, we lose credibility as a community when we prop up these individuals. When we prop them up, when we support them so that they can sell us peptides and they can sell us, you know, multi-million Muslim halal business seminars from Dubai. Like, it's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. And it needs to stop. It needs to stop. That's all I can say. Like, what more do you need to see? And unfortunately, we know, like, the fanboys, they're not going to wake up anytime soon. Like, they're going to keep defending this, and some of them are paid to defend it. Like, they're electronic flies. They have to support, like, these individuals. Literally in the bot farm in Dubai, they're going to be promoting this person. But for everyone else, like, here's the proof. Anyone who's sincere, like, this person, at the best case scenario is he's a jahil. The best case scenario is that he is completely ignorant and does not even have the knowledge at like a second year student at a madrasa. That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that he's like a paid agent and he fabricates hadith. Those are the only two options. And we're just getting started, because if it turns out that he doesn't actually have a legitimate degree, like he fabricated that as well, that's still to be determined, and it's not looking good. Okay. I also want to show you Adnan Rajit and his absolute love for the rabbis. Like, so disgusting. And Muslim Sayon found this. It's like a brilliant find. I already showed you how much Adnan Rajit makes dua praying. I wish so much that Netanyahu is in paradise. We've seen that. But have you seen this, where he wants to hug and kiss a rabbi? Just another Wahhabi. Just another example for you. Add it to the list.
My beloved rabbi, my beloved brother, again.
We don't have, I mean, first of all, it's forbidden for a believer to believe the internet.
You don't,
talking around there is not accurate. And I won't
you don't
go
think
into
that
what is accurate,
the state
but
of
I just
Israel
want
is actually committing atrocities against Palestinians? You don't think so?
What I said is it's not accurate.
That-
I don't have
So
the
they are
information. I don't
When
have
you
the
say
information.
you walk them streets,
yes.
Do you not see houses getting bombed? Do you not
No.
see Palestinians getting kicked out their houses?
No.
Do you not see? You don't see none
So
of
you've
that.
never
Palestinians aren't getting kicked out of their houses. Palestinians aren't getting bombed. The Zionist rabbi.
heard about Gaza being bombed from the sky and white phosphorus being dropped on.
There is a resistance.
Yeah.
There is one group of people who feel that they are entitled to live there, and there's another group of people who feel that they're not entitled to live there, and they're fighting. Of good Palestinians, there are plenty of good
They're fighting. There's just two sides fighting. It's a war.
Israelis, and they could get along.
I'm one of your students. You're a rabbi. I'm a student. I'm only a miskeen. In the Arabic language, miskeen is someone really down to earth.
You're my brother. You're my
I completely accept your honorable statement that we are brothers. I accept you as my brother. I accept you as my brother. The issue here we're discussing is you are Jewish. I am a Muslim who follows Muhammad as a prophet of God. I cannot call you Muslim. I cannot call you. You can claim to be Muslim. No problem with that. I respect your claim. If you claim to be Muslim, I have no problem with that. You see.
Not only that, I claim that you are a proper believer, complete in every way.
And I praise that. I cherish that thought. My beloved rabbi, my beloved brother, again.
We don't have.
My beloved brother, my beloved rabbi. I cherish that. I respect your claim to be Muslim. Okay, this rabbi is saying I'm a Muslim because whatever. He says, I respect that. I respect your claim to that. Meanwhile, he takfirs me. He takfirs the Shia. Mass takfirs Iran. Says they're not Muslim. They're a different religion. They're mushriks. But if a rabbi says I'm Muslim, I respect that. You're my beloved brother. My beloved rabbi. I'm miskeen. I'm a student. You're a rabbi. Can I kiss your feet? Disgusting, khabith, zindiq, this trash, Adnan Rajit, Hindu apologist, Zionist apologist, praying for Netanyahu to be in paradise. Like, what more do you need? Like, this is Wahhabism. And where was the clip of him asking for a hug? Let's play that. Because that same rabbi, like he's like begging to hug him.
Okay.
Rabbi,
Nice speed.
can I give you a hug?
Yes.
Very nice meeting you. Very nice talking to you.
That was maybe the best day of Adnan's life. That was like the best moment of his life, was hugging that rabbi. You can see the joy on his face. May I hug you? May I hug you, Rabbi? Please? May I hug you? Imagine, like, how humiliated you have to be. Like, how defeated, mentally colonized you have to be. May I hug and kiss you, Rabbi? May I please? May I have the honor? May I have the honor to touch you and hold you close? I want to feel the heat of your body against mine, please, Rabbi. Yeah, this is Rajit mentality. I'm a miskeen. I'm your student. I'm just miskeen. I want to hold you. I want to hold you. Let's pray for Netanyahu together. I pray that we're going to be in paradise hugging like this forever in paradise. Maybe whispered in his ears, you know, sweet nothings. Doesn't that just warm your heart? Doesn't that warm your? Oh, I want to hug you.
Rabbi, can I give you a hug?
Yes, yes.
Look at that! Look at that! Oh, the ecstasy, the ecstasy. I hope he didn't have to change his pants after that. Look at the ecstasy. Look at the happiness. Oh, oh.
Very nice meeting you. Very nice talking to you.
So happy. Yeah, so these are the Wahhabis, okay? These are the people who are telling you, oh, we can't have pan-Islamic unity. We can't ally with Iran. We can't ally with any of these Shia groups. We actually hope they're in hell. They can go to hell, right? That's what Adnan says. Meanwhile, hugging and kissing the rabbi, alliance with the Hindus, my beloved rabbi, all of this. So... And it's not only this, by the way. Okay, let me bring you one more piece of evidence. Okay, let me bring you one more piece of evidence. Okay, this is his standards. Can't ally with the Muslims or can't ally with the Shia because they insult the Sahaba. This was a debate. Okay, so this is a debate that Adnan Rajit has had. Okay, this is a Christian. And this Christian starts attacking the Prophet ﷺ, okay, calling him a bloodthirsty killer, terrorist, etc.
Example, in the town of Khaybar, a Jewish man named Kanana bin Arabiya was the keeper of the town's treasure. And Muhammad gave orders about him saying, torture him until you root out and extract what he has, that is, where the treasure is hidden. And so Zubair kindled a fire on Kanana's chest, twirling it with his fire stick until Kanana was near death. And then the messenger gave him to Maslama, who beheaded him. That night, Muhammad had sexual relations with Kanana's widow, Safiya, and he said, I have been made victorious through terror. So there's details there about Muhammad's sayings about jihad as well. When people tried to oppose Muhammad because of his violent actions and his claim to be a prophet, he often treated them badly. An example, Asma, the daughter of Marwan, was the mother of 5 small children. She had composed a poem against Muhammad.
All right, so he goes on and on. Like, this is a debate about the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and this Christian is just bringing up all of these typical Christian apologetics, accusing the Prophet ﷺ of every crime, calling him a terrorist, basically, calling him all these things I don't want to repeat. Okay? That's the nature of debate. Like, if you want to debate Christians, like, you have to be exposed to that. Okay? And you have to be able to respond. But Adnan has a tendency to just show so much love for his opponents in these debates. And that's the problem. Okay, that's the problem here. So this is what he says, like later in that debate. This was clipped.
This proves nothing. These are cheap shots, by the way. By the way, my tone, please do excuse me. This is a debate. Me and Bernie, we will hug each other afterwards, and I'll potentially kiss him on his cheek as well, to express my love. But my respect and honor for my prophet outweighs my love for Bernie. I hope you understand.
He loves Bernie. He loves this Christian who is calling the Prophet ﷺ a terrorist, okay, and accusing him of perversions, etc. He loves, Adnan loves this Christian and wants to hug and kiss him. Imagine that. Imagine.
To express my love, but my respect and honor for my prophet outweighs my love for Bernie. I hope you understand that. So I love you all, my Christian brothers and sisters. The reason we are going through this exercise to share my love to you, and my love requires that I give you authentic, right, correct information about our prophet. And you have an audacity to come and use the same point against the Prophet of Islam. Please, Bernie, I love you, and I'll hug you later. Okay?
Just emphasizing it if you didn't get the message before. I love you, please, I love you, love me back. It's humiliating.
To demonstrate my love. So please do not take my tone in a negative way. I'm very passionate about my prophet and my faith, and my passion is taking hold
You're so
of me.
passionate.
But at the same time,
you're so passionate that people who insult him, you love them, and you want to hug and kiss them.
I have to show my love and compassion for the Christian community, and they have this right. They deserve to know who our prophet really is. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, another warm hug, just like with that rabbi. Oh, look at the passion, the ecstasy.
Good hug. That was great. Thank you.
Oh, so close, like body to body. Like there's no like daylight there. No daylight. Oh, can't get closer than that. Can't get more intimate than that. Someone who's just been insulting the Prophet ﷺ. Okay. Again, like whether it's Jews, rabbis, Netanyahu, Christian blasphemers, insulters of the Prophet ﷺ, Hindus. So all of those people, he's willing to respect their claim to be Muslim. They're open kafir. Respect their claim to be Muslim, wants to hug and kiss them, praying for their Jannah. He says, I have to express my love. I'm just miskeen. I've just been struck with all this love for you when you insult the Prophet ﷺ. But not the Shia. Okay, the Shia, they can go to hell. Okay, we have to nonstop be posting about how the Shia go to hell, how the Shia are a different religion. We have to fight them. There can never be any unity or alliance with them. We hope that they're destroyed in the middle of them being bombed by the US and Israel. This guy's an agent, bro. This guy is clearly an agent. What other explanation is there? What other explanation can there be? Like, even if he weren't an agent, like, this is inexcusable. Like, this is not the kind of behavior, like, expressing multiple... How many times are you going to say that you love this insulter of the Prophet ﷺ? Like, it's just nauseating. It's nauseating. Like, someone needs to intervene with Adnan Rajit. If anyone who is in his family who cares about him, you need to have an intervention. Like, maybe it's time for him to put him in a nursing home. Okay, he's not mentally well. Okay, he's harming himself, and he's harming dawah when he's acting like this, like a fool. He needs to get put in the nursing home, frankly. Okay, he's reached a level of senility. He's senile. Do the Muslims a favor, dump his butt in a nursing home. He needs focused care. Okay? He's a danger to himself and others. So yeah, these are the Wahhabis, guys. These are the Wahhabis. I hope you see what I've been telling you is the reality. Let's look at your super chats. What do you guys think? I'm going to go for the super chats, and then when I'm done with that, I'm going to look at the regular chat. Eden says, brother, stay firmly on the right path. May God bless you with all the best in this and the next world. Amin. Much love from Bosnia. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate it. Much love to my Bosnian brothers. Holding it down, mashallah. Really appreciate it and appreciate your dua. Amin. Ibn Eugene says, Warner is in the chat. Can you tell us how your hand was forced to sign the Wahhabi Takfiri letter against Daniel? Was the Warner in the chat? What did he say? I guess not something good. Can you tell us how your hand was forced? Yeah, the Warner said he apologized to me for signing the Wahhabi letter, disavowing me and accusing me of shirk. He said he was forced. Like, how are you being forced? So the way that your people are forced is, again, they have moneyed interests. They have these conflicts of interest in these countries, and that's what makes it easy to manipulate them. And that's what Muhammad Hijab was saying. Like, he wants to be free. I don't want the Dubai money. I don't want the Dubai deals and endorsements. I'm fine without them. And I don't have to do things that I don't want to do. I don't have to be a slave and start attacking Iran, attacking the Shia, attacking Daniel, attacking any kind of Muslim speaker who is calling for pan-Islamic unity. Dawa Trucker. Hey, bro. Appreciate your super chat. Wa alaikum assalam. By taking photos with non-mahram women tells a lot about his priorities and how liberal his religious practices are. He has placed himself in a position to be called out by everyone in the Dawah field. Yeah, I mean, taking pictures, women will come up to you, like when you go to these debates and these events, women will come up to you and they'll ask for your picture. And you have to just politely say, sorry, I don't take pictures with women. That's all you need to say. Now, if it's like an old woman, like an old Christian woman or whatever, and she's there, okay, fine. It's like an old woman. But it's like a young woman, like it's a young woman, young Christian. She wants to take your picture. Guess what? You can marry Christians in Islam as a Muslim man. So why are you taking pictures with her, selfies and smiling? It's scandalous. Like, this is the kind of behavior we expect from compassionate imams, from Imam Sandwich, from Mufti Menk. Like, that's the kind of behavior that they're known for, and we criticize them for that. But apparently the Wahhabis also engage in that kind of behavior. Muslim Boogeyman, how's it going, bro? Uthman needs Arabic lessons from Rajit desperately. Yeah, imagine. I think Adnan might have better Arabic than Uthman. Which one's worse? What do you guys think? Chat, like, who's has the better or worse Arabic, Rajit or Uthman? Last word says, can we have another stream about the Iran war in Syria? There's not any big developments with Iran. With Syria, Goilani had an interview where he's saying he wants to have a security agreement with Israel. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Like, oh, really, Goilani? I never could have guessed. I never could have guessed when you came out as best friends with the former CIA director, David Petraeus, and you're taking selfies, speaking of selfies, with Robert Lauder, the president of the World Jewish Congress, the Zionist mastermind behind the World Jewish Congress. You're taking selfies with him, Goilani, and you're playing basketball with the CENTCOM director, okay, Bradley Cooper. Could never have guessed that you wanted to eventually normalize with Israel. Well, that's just a surprise. So, yeah, we'll have an episode. I want to talk about Goilani and all these Syrian Medkhalis, and they're like bootlickers. It's like the Syrian version. You have the Dubai bootlickers, and then you have the Syrian Damascus bootlickers. I don't know which one's worse. Probably the Syrians, because the Syrians are so self-righteous, these Medkhali Syrians. Nothing that Goilani does, if Goilani goes and literally does sajda to Benjamin Netanyahu, they'll say that, oh, if Goilani didn't do sajda to Benjamin Netanyahu, then Syria would get nuked. Syria would get nuked. We'd be destroyed. How dare you doubt the wisdom of Goilani? doing sajda to Benjamin Netanyahu. It's only out of his wisdom and his concern for the Syrian people that he's literally prostrating to Benjamin Netanyahu and licking his boots. It's only out of wisdom. That's literally how they argue. That's literally how they argue. Everything is justified because, oh no, Israel is going to nuke us. Israel is going to take us to war. Oh no, so we have to be slaves. We have to be slaves to the Zionists, otherwise we're going to be exterminated. How can you argue with these people? This is what the, like, thousands of these bots online. You can see them in the replies in the comment section. So that's, like, I think worse. I haven't seen any of these Saudi medkhalis or the UAE medkhalis, like Rabbi Faris. They don't make those kinds of arguments. They don't claim that, oh, if we don't prostrate ourselves and do everything that Israel wants, we're going to get nuked. Like, this is a new kind of argument that these Syrian medkhalis are coming up with. Aka says, plot twist, Sheikh is actually his first name. What, Sheikh Uthman? No, it's not his first name. Days, thank you for your super chat. Appreciate it. Allah exposes the munafiqeen and strengthens those who stand with Palestine, Iran, Yemen, Iraq, etc. Firm with the believers and compassionate with one another. Surah Al-Fath. May Allah protect you and us, brother. Ameen. Thank you for those thoughts. I agree. These guys just get exposed. Like, Allah is exposing them more and more. And I think it's going to get much worse, actually. Because they're so arrogant. Like, they just double down. So Allah is giving you all the warnings. Allah is giving you the warnings. Like, look at what is being exposed about you. You better shape up or ship out. And they're just doubling down. Uthman is doubling down. Adnan Rajid is doubling down. They don't care. So this is very scary. This is very scary. And, Allahu Alam, what's going to come out about them. Ridwana says, why are most Wahhabis ex-criminals or ex-gangsters? Well, there's two reasons for it. One, like, Wahhabism is a low IQ aqidah. Like, it's a deviant, low IQ aqidah, just like Ibn Abdul Wahhab was low IQ. So it appeals to low IQ people. That's number one. Number two is when you have ex-criminals, like people who are in prison, people who are, like, in these gangs, they're compromised. Like, the authorities have leverage over them. And so they can be more easily blackmailed. They can be more easily exploited. And so you see oftentimes these Wahhabis who are online and they're pushing like all this nonsense. They are ex-crackheads, ex-drug addicts, ex-gangsters, ex-cartel members. Day says, Oy vey, you are my goy brother, Rajit. Goyim heaven for you. Yeah, that rabbi. They were really getting close. Muslim Boogeyman says, Rajit refuses to wash his clothes after that hug. Yeah, he refuses to wash the clothes, which refuses to wash his hands. Like, from his teacher. He's just miskeen, so any kind of scraps he can get from his beloved rabbi, he's gonna cherish it. Dawa Trucker says, what? He accepts him as his brother when they're clearly exposed them and their disbelief, calls him his beloved rabbi. What a disgust and a disgrace, while the simp Muslims are happy cheering them on. Boo is better. Yeah, it's shocking. Like, if it were just in isolation, okay, like, this is ill-advised, like, this is not the correct adab of a Muslim in a debate or in their interactions, like with a rabbi, especially a rabbi who is denying Palestinian atrocities, like Palestinian genocide. He's denying it in front of your face, and you call him your beloved and you want to hug him. So in isolation, that's bad enough. But Adnan has the additional position of having all this animosity for other Muslims and mass takfiring them. That's what makes it so much worse. Nutty Caller says, Salam bro, these Dubai bros look uneducated. You said it. Isn't it like obvious? Like uneducated in every sense of the word. Islamically, in terms of secular education, in terms of common sense. Says, is the Muslim Ummah a thing of the past? Absolutely not. Muslim Ummah is going to be making a comeback resurgence. Okay? That's what we're working for, the revival, inshallah. Okay, now I'm looking at the regular chat. I think I covered all the super chats. What do you guys have to say? Let's put this up. Let's see. Like, look at this comment. May Allah bless Guilani and guide him. You guys want Syria to be like Gaza. Imagine this mindset. Imagine, like, looking down on Gaza, looking down on the Palestinians. We don't want to be like that, so we're going to sell out. We don't want to be like that, so we're going to become the slaves for Netanyahu, and we're going to prostrate. Like, imagine. Imagine that kind of mindset. Like, and they're praising Goilani like he's some kind of genius. Like, you think it takes genius to sell out? You think it takes genius to be a prostitute and bend over for the Zionists? Like, you think it's genius to come and be a sellout and come to Washington D.C. and get your hand shaken by Trump and have him put cologne and perfume on you? You think it takes a genius? No, you just have to sell out the Muslims. You have to sell out the Palestinians. You have to sell out the cause of the Ummah. It's not that difficult. It's not a genius move. It's called being a sellout. And it's disgusting. Okay, and that makes you like, just like the munafiqeen. Just like the munafiqeen in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, who made a deal with the Quraysh against the Muslims. Like, how are you any different? Kamran says, if a man insults my mother, I would hit him. I cannot imagine hugging a man who insults the Prophet ﷺ. How about, can you imagine loving him and kissing him? King of normalization and denormalization. Yes, Iran ruined Syria. I know Iran could be Muslims, but I would never agree that we can trust them. Yeah, you can trust the United States, you can trust Israel, you can trust Russia, you can trust France, but you just can't trust Iran. That makes sense. Like, this is the Syrian brain rot that we're dealing with. Like, you've just been propagandized. You've been brainwashed, bro. The Wahhabis have had their way with you. Yeah, not all Syrians are like these fools. I know. Yeah, did I hear about the bombing of Iraq? And there were reports of them bombing pilgrims. I didn't confirm that. Like bombing people going to Karbala. And I didn't confirm that, but I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, the Saudi, along with the US, is bombing Iraq. Even though Iraq denied attacking Saudi, Yemen is the Ansar Allah, the Houthis are the ones who are bombing Saudi as a retaliation for the blockade, okay, the almost decade-long blockade of Yemen by Saudi Arabia, starving hundreds of thousands of Yemenis. So Yemen fights back, and then Saudi bombs Iraq. No, this is just the United States trying to weaken the pro-Iran factions within Iraq, possibly to prepare for a ground invasion from Iraq into Iran. So Saudi, the lapdog of the United States and Netanyahu, is bombing Muslims in Iraq. Xavier says, Salam, brother, I'm from India. Many hijabi girls are having haram relationship with non-Muslim guys in university, workplaces like blasphemy. They wear hijab and do this. Why don't you give fatwa on this issue? I'm not a mufti, so I don't give any fatwa. And that's number one. Number two, like, there's no fatwa needed. Like, if they're involved in a haram relationship, it's haram. Like, there's no fatwa that's needed for that. As like a relationship, like that's zina. There's no fatwa that's needed. It's known. It's something that's ma'loom. As for women going to university and the workplace, obviously I have been speaking out against that for over 10 years now. 100% against women's education, as you know. So there are good Muslim women. Of course, there are many good Muslim women. And some of them, for whatever reason, they are in the university and it's not the ideal situation. But I'm not saying every woman who's in the university is doing something wrong. Every Muslim woman who's in a university or in the workplace is doing something wrong. I'm not saying that. But in general, we have to understand the dangers and the damage of empowering women and women's education. And that's not something that Islam calls for. Brother Daniel, any interview with a Pakistani coming up? Not that I know of. I'm Syrian from Idlib and I stand against Goilani. Dawa Trucker says Uncle Rajit should be holding hands and hugging his rabbi, and that hating Christians singing, "Why can't we be friends? Oh, why can't we be friends?" I thought Sohaib Webb was bad enough. Yeah, that's they should all like get together and sing Kumbaya. Wahhabis, rabbis, Zionist rabbis, and Zionist Christians all holding hands, hugging. Oh, and Hindus, of course, Hindu Dva. That's the kind of unity that Adnan is advocating and the other Wahhabis. NYC says, brother, hate to be one. Please make video on Yemen. Yemen been bombed 1/3 of what Syria took. A lot of new movement there, especially right now with Saudi, South Yemen. We need your analysis. Don't see many sheikhs. Yeah, what do you want to talk about with Yemen? They've been blockaded for almost a decade. all kinds of suffering, and it's a blockade that Saudi and these Gulf countries are imposing. It's a crime. It's a crime in Islam, and it's dhulm, and it's disgusting. Rajit's next move for unity is a dip in the Ganges River. Yeah. Al-Abdullah says, open my eyes, or AI Abdullah. October 7th, open my eyes. It was hard to watch Da'is I'd followed before attack you. I'm still disgusted by them. Yeah, I was shocked by it too. I was completely shocked. That's how naive I am. I thought like a message of pan-Islamic unity was very uncontroversial. Like that's what Islam requires. That's what Sunni Islam requires. Okay, guys. That is our show. Really appreciate everyone tuning in. Like I said, there's more to be discussed with Mufti Dubai bin Cholo. Clearly, we're waiting for him to confirm his registration status at the Islamic university he supposedly graduated from. We'll see if he provides that. And he recently, as was mentioned in one of the super chats, had a U.S. official, former U.S. official, interviewed him and discussed Iran. So we will probably have a show discussing more about that because we just didn't have time today. But yeah, this is the Wahhabis that I've been warning you about. And can't say I didn't warn you. Can't say that I didn't try to tell you what Wahhabism was all about. But now you can see for yourself. You can judge for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it. Hopefully the evidence is there for you. So again, I remind you, subscribe to the newsletter. The link is in the description below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave me your comments. Appreciate everyone who submitted super chats. People asking for the book update. I'm still working on it. It takes a lot of time, especially to get everything in the right formatting. Again, it's like over 500 pages at this point. So but it's a good book, inshallah. I think you'll benefit from it. You'll like it. And I will make it available to you as soon as it's ready. Yeah, that's on the way. That's why I'm spending all my time, most of my time on. And it's about Rand's attempt to reform Islam. And the receipts will shock you. Okay, guys, really appreciate you. See you, inshallah, next week. I was trying to have like some kind of interviews and debates. It didn't work out for this week. The person flaked at the last minute that I was supposed to debate. It was like a Zionist. The person flaked. So we'll see if there's other people who want to discuss with me. But if you have any content suggestions, let me know. I do read your comments, so put that in the comment section. And then we'll have, if there's no interview or debate, then at the very least we'll have just another Haqiqat show, inshallah, and analysis, and look at whatever is the news for the week. All right, guys. Check you on the next one, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.